Not available in Canada.
I don't really want to go to Florida.
Families faced with a decision to travel south of the border for crucial treatment.
I probably review a case every other week for consideration of going.
You mean to say that nowhere in Canada has a machine like this?
How much of our public health care is being outsourced to the US?
It's paid for tax revenue, so I think citizens should know what they're paying for.
16-year-old Luke Surface is getting ready for a family trip to Florida. But this won't be a holiday.
It's not like we're all packing up and going to Florida for a vacation, right? That's not what we're doing at all.
The Surface family are farmers in rural southern Alberta. Luke lives here with his mother, father, and twin sister Amy. Back in January, he got a concussion playing hockey. But after 2 months, his symptoms weren't getting better. They were getting worse.
We went to get a CT scan because it was so bad, and then they called us, said, no, this is a cancerous brain tumor. Me and my mom, we were sitting in Lethbridge Emerge just crying.
My wife's texting me. She's like, yeah, we got him in for a CT scan. And the next text I got from her says, he has a brain tumor. We need to go to Calgary right now. And it's just disbelief, right? I was like, how can this be happening?
They rushed Luke to Alberta Children's Hospital, where neurologists perform emergency surgery.
My left eye was shooting to the left a bit with all the pressure. I had a buildup of spinal fluid because the tumor was blocking where it flows.
For a month and a half, 2 months, we blamed everything on this concussion. And I felt terrible because, there was times when, I might have been a little bit angry with him, right? Because I'm like, how can't you be getting better? But his quality of life had to have been going downhill so fast.
Luke remains in hospital for his first round of chemotherapy.
Getting all this stuff put into you.
Now, with all his chemo completed, it's time for radiation. Luke's doctors have given him a choice between traditional X-ray therapy.
X-ray therapy travels through the body, depositing cancer-killing energy from entrance to exit, which can damage healthy tissues surrounding the tumor.
And something called proton beam therapy.
Protons, on the other hand, can be precisely controlled and are able to travel into the body with lower doses of radiation, releasing a burst of energy at the end of their path.
The catch? It's not available in Canada. So Luke needs to travel here, to Jacksonville, Florida.
UF Health Proton Therapy Institute. Harder on cancer, easier on you.
To find out about the advantages of proton beam therapy, I pay a visit to the Family Cancer Centre in London, Ontario.
Most of my patients have gone to Florida.
Dr. Glenn Bauman says proton radiation protects his young patients' brains better.
Higher doses of radiation to the uninvolved brain can have negative effects on children's ability and young people's ability to develop and learn and do well in school and ultimately get jobs and live their lives. Protons really decrease the amount of exposure of tissues around the tumor target to radiation.
Turns out, Canada is the only G7 country without a proton beam machine.
You mean to say that nowhere in Canada has a machine like this? Not in Calgary, not in Edmonton, not in Toronto?
I don't really want to go to Florida a bunch. I would rather, if it was in Toronto, just go there quickly. It's closer to home, it's more convenient. It makes no sense. We should have one in Canada.
Canada is the only G7 country.
So why doesn't Canada have one?
Proton beam therapy is expensive. These are expensive machines. They need a lot of people to keep them up, physicists, engineers, things like that. They're just very expensive equipment to maintain.
And this is the website
which is why Ontario and other provinces have been paying U.S. hospitals to treat Canadian patients. In Ontario, doctors can apply on behalf of patients to the out-of-country prior approval program.
In this case, you're looking for cancer treatment, and then it'll say proton beam therapy.
Dr. Bauman helps review applications for the province. Details of the program are not public. Using Freedom of Information, CBC News obtained data for all applications submitted in the past 7 years. Our analysis shows, since 2018, Ontario has paid for hundreds of patients to receive medical treatments abroad, mostly in the US, spending over $200 million on services like gender-affirming surgeries, cardiac care, and psychiatric programs. But the most spent was on cancer treatments, including proton radiation therapy.
It's a public system. It's paid for tax revenue, so I think citizens should know what they're paying for.
And we have proton therapy here.
We shared our analysis with health services researcher and biostatistician Aaron Jones.
The single biggest expenditure is on the proton beam therapy. And that's something that's been consistent over the last couple of years.
Are we at a critical point now where it would be a cost-efficient decision to offer it here?
It's almost certain that whatever you're seeing in the data, if that were offered in Ontario, you would see more demand for it.
The numbers are, for Ontario are not surprising to me because
we also share our findings with Dr. Bauman.
The data that I've seen suggests that, that there's enough volume to justify having at least one machine in Canada, probably two.
How many people could potentially benefit from it if it would be here?
There are tumors of the head and neck region in adults that can be hard to treat. Cancers that are very close to important normal things like the brainstem, the spinal cord, the optic nerves. I would say it's probably around between 10 and 20% of all radiation treatments. There might be some benefit to think about protons if we had that available.
So we're talking thousands of people?
Yeah, I think we're talking a few thousand a year.
Back in 2022, Ontario announced it was investing $5 million to plan for Canada's first ever proton beam therapy facility. CBC reached out to the Ministry of Health. They told us they're still planning. Alberta told us this month they issued a call to industry for interest in developing and operating proton beam services in the province. The information gathered, it says, will be used to inform potential future planning.
Then they said to come visit after.
Yeah, after Florida.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Luke and his father will need to spend 6 weeks away from their farm for his treatment.
I got to show you whatever I do here because I'm not around, so next time it leaks, you need to know how to shut the water off.
Yeah.
They've been under a lot of stress. And it's just, I feel bad for them with how stressful everything's been and that they had to go through this.
I think it would be tough for every family to be able to do this. It's silly because if we want the best treatment, I don't understand why it's not available in Canada.